Today I'm gonna talk about Webpack. So we create a new folder for this class, and now we create a webpack.txt file. Right. So why we need Webpack? So suppose we init create a new project, default package name, default version, default description, everything default, right? So now you can see there is when you create a new project, a JSON file will be created. This file is responsible for storing all the dependencies. Also, you can do npm init y. So it's all default right now. So when you new project in your folder here, there's only one file, right? The package.json storing the dependencies. Other than that, we still need some other functions like file transformation. Like you want to make this project run, so you need like you in your project there are a lot of types of files like less, right? You want to convert that less file to CSS file so that it can be run in the browser, and maybe there is ES file. You want to convert that to JS or vue file or JSX. Vue is Vue and JSX is React, right? You want to convert to a JS, and there are some other images you want to convert to either base or regular image, right? And you want a file optimization, which means when you in development mode, you can just display all the files in a common, in a regular style. When you put the mode into production, you want to compress the files so you can make your project smaller sized, right? So sometimes you want to split the code. Like you have several JS file. Some of separate JS files from you have a lot of JS files. Some of them are responsible for async functions, and some of them are responsible for sync functions. Some of those async functions shouldn't be loaded once you initialize a new page, once you open a new page, right? So you can just separate your code into different files, so you can control the order of those files, so that can make your page loading faster, right? Code merge, right? Sometimes you want to merge your several modules, right, together. How to refresh, or how to deploy. Sometimes especially when you are programming something, you don't want to just rebuild your project again and again. So you want to just keep it rebuilding all the time, right? Once you make some changes on some files, you just want to you made some changes on some files, you just want to the project refreshed automatically, right? And finally, if you did some change on your file and you still want to do deployment automatically, right? So all those functions are based on the Webpack. Yeah, and basic concepts. So in Webpack there are 5 basic concepts, which is entry. Entry is the basic file you put your dependencies on. It's export. Right, so in your project there should be one file as the entry of this project, right? So the all those automation tools should know where to enter your project, right? Which part is should be loaded initially, at the beginning of your project, right? Output where to export your bundles. So once you bundle your all kinds of files together, right, there should be a destination folder for you to export all the files, right? To which is like actually you just give this folder to the system admin, right, so that they can deploy it on the web server. So output included path and file name, right? And also you need plugin, you need a mode or whatever. So development mode, like I said, you just can review all your code in a regular way, and when you put the project into production mode, all the files could be compressed, and so that the overall project size could be smaller. And plugins, let's do loader first. Loader is responsible for converting files, any files into files which can be read by browser, because browser can only recognize several type of files, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, stuff like that, right? So loader is responsible for convert those other file types. And plugins can do a lot of other tasks, including, like I said, auto refresh your project, auto deployment, code merge, code split, file optimization, and for example, code checking or debugging, right? So you use this plugin to check if your code is written in a specified way, right? So this is very important too. Yeah, so mode development and loader and plugins, right? So now we want to create Webpack projects. right? Now I want to show you that how to create or how to initialize that the project environment, runtime environment we are always using in this class, in this tutorial, right? So let's do so now we need to npm install webpack-cli webpack-dev server. You can put a -g here to install this globally, but I recommend you to do it locally, which means we just install those tools inside of this folder, only inside of this project, instead of install that install it globally, because every project is based on different dependencies, right? We don't want to just use one version of Webpack all the time, right? So it is project based. So safe dev. Safe dev means these plugins or these tools will be used only in development environment, development mode, because these tools are, you don't need them in a production mode or in the real life, right? So because customers don't want to know that, right? So you cannot just put that into production mode. Okay, just let's install that. Webpack command line interface, and the Webpack dev server. All those the function of these three tools, you can just check the documentation. It's very straightforward, and in the modules you can find right, so the things you have installed is just stored here. The modules you have installed just all stored in the modules, and in the package find this is a dev dependency, right? So if you remove the --save -dev, it would just be stored without dev. It could be just dependencies, and this file is to log the version of your dependencies, right? So now we have that, and in this folder we need a file. It's called webpack.config.js. You need to config this manually, right? Entry right, so now we need a src index.js. Yeah, I just okay, I just create this. All right, so suppose I put some let's just use the template. All right, just use the template to save some time. Okay, so console log this is entry file index.js, and at p.new promise resolve reject resolve web field is running. Then right, we just put some random code here in the entry file, right? So okay, yeah, it is already set up. So in this project we use npx webpack to build the project, to compile this project. npx means you run some command within this project, and npm is the package manager, right? So we want to run some command inside of this project, inside of, yeah, okay. So you can see it says man.js, right? Okay, where is the output? So default output is in the dist distribution folder, man.js file. As you can find it here, p new promise, right? So suppose we change this to production. We just npx webpack again. As you can see, it is totally compressed, right? So to reduce the size of your project. All right. Let's just get back to develop so that we can review our code easier, right? Okay. Now we have already know that this is the entry file, and we have set up the entry point here, and now we want to set up output including path dot resolve dist file name. We changed the file name to index.js. All right, so this is a syntax of Node.js. Before you need to const path require path. This is the core dependency of Node. So you can just simply use that by requiring. So the first argument direct name is the current folder, means current folder, and this is the folder name. All right, so let's do npx webpack. npx webpack successfully, right? So as you can see it here, index, right? It has been compiled again. Let me delete this. Right? So the file here, and the file name is index dist folder, distribution folder, right? Okay. Okay, now I want to add a HTML file here, right? I just use this. I just copy the template here, as you can see. Let's see, fickle ES6, right? Hello XML script, click me. This is a template, right? So because you cannot just use the JavaScript file independently, you need a HTML file as a interface. So now I want to compile the project again, so that this index HTML should be also part of distribution. Right here we need a plugin we need a plugin to compile whatever in src source code folder, whatever the index HTML file is gonna be in the dist distribution folder. So we need like HTML webpack plugin. How to use that? Just simply follow the documentation. All right. So we need to install this first, right? And after installation, we need to modify this file, web-config.js, right? So we need to copy this to import. Right. And besides that, we need to put a plugin here. Comma plugin, new HTML plugin, right? So in this plugin, we need to a simple configuration to specify the template. Template should be root source code folder index.html. Right? So npx webpack. We just compile this project again. As you can see here, right? Same, exactly same as the file in the source code folder, right? So distribution folder. So now we have both index and index.js and index.html, right? So we wanna do webpack-dev. So you can see it here. Resolve is there should be one typo here. Okay. Resolve. Right. Pretty straightforward. It's just developer server, right? Just keep it running. So then every time you made some change, right? So as you can see here, it's running here. This is entry file and webpack config is running, right? Okay, so back to this. Created project file. We did init new project. We did set up entry for the project. We did specify output folder and file name, right? Now we copy HTML file from source code folder to distribution folder. Now what we want to do is to optimize webpack config.js. So right here we put all the configurations in, but when you actually do programming, it will cause a lot of problems. You cannot just put everything into one file, right? So normally we need a new folder. It's called build, and this folder store all those config files. So in the real life programming, there are a lot of ways to separate your Webpack config files, and I'm gonna talk about one way is like this. So we need a Webpack config file. Besides that, we need a base config file. We need a dev config file. We need a production config file. So each one is responsible for one mode. Base file, in the base file, it is whatever you need to use, whatever any mode you are currently on. You still need those configurations. You just put that into the base file, and there are some plugins and the loaders which are only needed in the development mode. So you just put those configurations in this file, right? So okay, so we just copy this to paste. Right? Yeah, okay. So we have paste here. In the dev folder, we still need module exports. So we only need to in the dev configuration, we just currently put dev to chip module source map. The source map is another topic we won't talk about in this class. So whatever, we just put this left code right here right now, and in the production mode configuration file, we need an export right here. We wanna, so right here I can just install another plugin for this production config. So every time we rebuild the project, we want this disk distribution folder could be removed and create a new one automatically. So right here we need to copy we need to clean Webpack plugin. Right, again, just follow the instruction. As you can see here, there's no --save -dev, right? So because this plugin should be installed in the production mode, right? Because every time we just remove the distribution folder, it's in production mode, right? So just install this plugin, and we take a look how to use this usage, right? We import this, copy, right, copy and paste this. Alright, so now I have it. Okay, now because this plugin is running, so every time we don't need to remove the distribution folder ourselves, right? It's gonna be removed and created automatically, right? So in this Webpack config file, we need to merge all those three files into one, right? Because every time we run Webpack, we rebuild the project, it will just search this file, right? So right here we need another plugin named merge. Okay, Webpack merge plugin, right? This is the usage, right? Webpack config.js. We just copy and paste here. now let's take a look at this. So we need to require a base config file first, right? So require current folder and webpack.base.config.js, right? So we need a dev mode file, right? Dev and production mode, right? So when it is development mode, we merge base and dev file, right? Base pro, right? Okay, we still need to get this, right? We need to, because we want to use this plugin, we need to import this, right? Merge. We use the here merge, right? So yeah, okay. So it is pretty simple and clear. Now I want to I want to show you the webpack first. It says mode option has not been set. Why? Because there is no configuration file in the root folder, right? It can this cannot find your file right here, so you need to specify this file. So npx webpack mode equal to development and config, which is the path of your config file. So build webpack config.js, right? So we run this. Has already been declared. So web config field to load. Yeah, this is pretty tricky. Every time if you are using like this these plugins, you need to carefully be careful, and you need to carefully use it, right? So there will cause a lot of problems, right? So 31 base. Oh, right, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. npx webpack. We use dev server this time. Server mode development config file build web, because the mode is development, right? We want to keep it running locally, so we use webpack dev server right here. So, okay, so run this. As you can see here, port 8081, right? So yeah, it's running without any error, right? So we can also do npx webpack mode production config build webpack config, right? so it is rebuilt, right? Let's take a look at this. As you can see here, there's a new folder here. Why? Because in your base config file, you specify that the output is current folder and create a new dist folder, right? So right here, want to change it to current, like the root folder, right? So we just remove this and protection config build webpack config.js. Yeah, successfully. As you can see, yeah, right? So this folder, distribution folder, is right here, and the code has already been compressed, right? Okay. So, okay. Optimize webpack config file, right? So we just split the webpack config file into some other config files, and I told you that we need to merge webpack merge plugin to merge all those config files together, right? So last thing, we just use Barbell Loader. Barbell Loader is responsible for es.file to JS, vue or JSX file to JS file, right? Suppose you are using the most popular front-end framework like Vue and Java and React. So the file extension is Vue or JSX, right? So it needs to be converted to the JS file, which makes browser recognize, right? So Barbell Loader, right? So let's do Barbell Loader webpack, right? Well, I like use npm or whatever, so you can use okay. So Barbell Loader, we just install this again. As you can see, we installed that in the production dependency, right? So follow the documentation. So we need to add a module property in the config file. So we just put this Barbell Loader should be in this. Okay, let's just put that in the base file, right? So edit plugin. Enter the plugin, we give it a module, right? Module property. This is the Barbell Loader. Okay. So what does this mean? When it comes to the file with JS extension, we use Barbell Loader, right? So you can so this part could be txt, right? png, jpg, or other file extensions, right? So each file extension here will be responded to loader, specific loader, to convert those file extensions to kind of a file which browser can recognize, right? So how do we use this? Okay, Okay, so we have installed this, we have put in the base config file. Yep, everything is fine. So let's run apx webpack-dev server mode development config.build webpack. So we just come back to our project, refresh in the source, and we search promise. So you can see it here. It is var p, right? So var is the keyword of ES5, right? So ES5 is basically recognized by all browsers, right? But ES6 or EX11, especially the up-to-date version, they cannot be recognized by browser. So you need this barbell. So suppose we close this. Format this file. Okay, so we just remove this. All right. Save. And back here we do npx webpack-dev server mode development config build webpack config. Refresh. Source. You can see it here. It's let, right? So it is not var anymore. It's let because we closed the Barbell Loader, right? So the ES6 syntax cannot be converted to ES5. This is the usage of Barbell Loader, right? Okay. Yeah, this is pretty much about the Webpack. We talk about including the purpose of Webpack, basic concepts, and how to create a Webpack project, and how to install and use Barbell Loader, right? Okay, this is pretty much about today. Thanks.